So you can pump it. Bring it up, come on.
Try fam, can I get some love in the chat, please? It is season 1, episode 6. What did we talk about this one again? The something ring of something. No, I'm kidding. Hold on. The fighting ring of consumerism is getting meta stale. We have a great show with a lot of topics. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Once I got every single time I try to make this transition, it's like without fail. And then of course my mouse disappears for like a few minutes.
Let's maintain.
All right, hello everybody.
Nice. How's it going, everybody? How's the night moving?
Hello, hello.
Welcome in, TriFan. Welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, so we got a great show for you tonight, guys. Lots of cool topics coming up. Obviously, starting with the biggest one, as we said in the show hot lineup, some Street Fighter 6. But before we get into that, of course, as always, let me get some introductions out of the way. Starting with the highest of flyest of guys. Mr. Kai, take it away.
What is going on, peoples? It is your friendly neighborhood fly guy, Kyber Man. It's a pleasure to see you guys here today, and we're gonna rock out, talk about some shit, talk about some Street Fighter, amongst other things.
All right. And to the left or right of him, depending on which direction we are looking at, we have the one and the only Mr. Kill Him Slowly.
Yo. How y'all feeling out there?
Oh my god, wait a minute, hold on.
Apparently invisible.
Wait, what?
Still
Why are
here,
you...
though.
Oh my god.
Experimenting with something.
Ghost. There we go.
Yeah, it's
my
Ghost
bad.
Killer
My
Man,
bad.
yeah.
There you go. All right.
Here we go. It's your boy Killing Slowly. How you feeling? Hello, people. I think that sums up my introduction.
All right. And then last and least, no, just kidding. Last but certainly not least, it's me, guys. Well, a really shrunken down version of me, because as the trend continues, man,
that was Willie's big toe.
That was my big toe. Uh-oh. Hold on. Ah! Gotta go to this. Gotta copy. Okay. Well, as I'm doing this, guys, my name is silly_WillieTV, and I am super thrilled to have you all here. Without further ado, guys, gentlemen, why don't you guys kick it away as I get us back to the other screen.
Back to reality.
Oh my god.
All right.
There we
So.
go.
The name of the game, ladies and gentlemen, is Street Fighter 6. And actually, let's just chat before we do that, right? Hey guys.
Yes, chat, how are we doing?
How's it going, guys? I
Chad,
see you out there, Dice. I see you out there, clowns. How y'all feeling? Dubbers. Coming through the chat.
Actually, let's get a quick hello to Clowns, Dubbers, Dice! Ooh, everybody in the chat, thank you all so much for being here.
Nice, you out here going, man. What you mean, man?
I feel like everybody's pretty mad today. Let's be honest. Like,
Probably.
it's a mad kind of day. Uranus is in recension, and Target,
And Ukrainian is in. Well, yeah. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, and it's understandable if we're all feeling a little out of whack.
100% understandable. We just gotta find ways to jam our jellies and march our mellows out here. That's all.
Yep. Oh my god.
All right. So everybody's meh. And we're all feeling meh today. You know what I mean? Chat
It is mad.
guys. Kill him. How are you?
I'm chilling, honestly. I'm having a pretty alright day. I guess I'll just go with the meth lady.
Willie, how about you?
Save for the nervous breakdown I'm constantly feeling like I'm in the middle of, divulging into. I'm doing all right, man.
So here we are at the verge of mental death. Speaking of being at the verge of death, Willie, take it away.
What a terrific transition that was.
I forgot.
That was-
I forgot I'm not the host.
That was an amazing,
I
that was an
love how
amazing
icy
segment.
that was.
I'll be honest with you, man. You have it in your blood if you want to do it. No. So yeah. So guys, Street Fighter 6. Lots of nothing to talk about here, right?
We got this one trailer. We got this
Why
one
don't-
trailer.
Is this even a trailer? This is like a clip.
That's a teaser. That's a
Kai, why don't you kick us off with your thoughts on all of this?
Hello, beautiful people. Street Fighter 6 is kind of, sort of trying to be here. Long story short, we got, look at those toes. We got a little brief look at what Street Fighter 6 is gonna look like. It looks like they're focusing on old man, hot man Ryu, as we know.
Man, sexy Ryu.
That's definitely hot Ryu. Like that was dubbed in the Street Fighter 5 community, and Luke is going to be the main attraction here, as that was corrected on. And yeah, that's about all we got so far. But I figured we'd talk a little bit about what Street Fighter 5 and previous Street Fighter iterations have done, and maybe characters
Yeah.
we're expecting.
Well, hold on a second. Before we get too far into that, Malik, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is why is Ryu so damn wide?
He's a
Like
wide man.
my man is like double XL wide. Like look how skinny Luke is here, right? You see,
Dude-
like, my
dude
man's,
does have,
compact,
like-
a normal person. Look at
Yeah.
that. My man is wide.
I mean, I don't know if you look at the veins on Luke there, but
We're not gonna
like-
talk about
it's-
his Popeye arms, all right? Like that's not anatomically correct, but that's okay. We're just gonna leave that here. My man rib cage look like it can hold other rib cages. Like
I mean,
That's
let's be
all I
honest with you
see.
though.
that's all I have to talk about in this trailer, because obviously ain't nothing else here. I ain't see no fireballs. I ain't see no uppercuts. Nothing. Ain't
Yeah,
nobody
I know.
even trying to boom for me.
I never knew what spare ribs were until today, because he's definitely got ribs to spare.
Definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the show. It was a good one while it lasted.
And all we had to talk about was Street Fighter 6. That's it.
This isn't a reveal. This, like I said when we first saw it, like this is the Street Fighter equivalent of Animal Crossing's reveal. Actually,
Animal
this
Crossing-
is somehow less substantive.
Yeah, this is less substance, but Animal Crossing was disrespectful. You sent me a trailer of a DLC.
But like, what does this say? Because like, here's the thing: is that like we don't even know if this represents a game still in development. Okay, so we know that there's going to be characters from it. Cool.
Well, actually, this speaks volumes for like the fighting game community at large. This means that finally, like Street Fighter 6 is being like thought about. I don't know if it's.
Oh no, of course. It's important. But like the trailer itself.
Yeah,
So-
well, I'm trying to look at this through the hype. You know,
Well, sure.
like I have hype eyes.
Tez, welcome in.
What's up, Tess?
Yo, Tez.
As far as like, I would say, kind of as we kind of play this same trailer on loop over and over and over again, what I'm kind of starting to realize is like, this is oddly like sexual in a way. Like it's like really getting in on like, it's really getting on like the back sweat and like the toes of Ryu. That toe flex was unnecessary.
Hey
Like-
man. Hey man, advances in gameplay graphics means that we get real specific with bodily functions, okay?
Yeah, this like they're like zooming in on the arm flex to the wrist. You know what I mean, with the veins popping out. It's like that. This is none of this even was about fighting. This was just about them sexily posing.
Oh my god.
That's what I just got. If we're just talking strictly about the trailer, this was
Like
the
a Bowflex commercial.
this was to sell you on the base status of Ryu and Luke.
The base status. Oh god.
I
Oh,
don't
the
know.
trailer of a trailer. Yes.
Listen. Let's actually get into like
Well,
the
yeah.
other
So
things of what this could mean for like the fighting game community at large and like the effects that this game will have. You know,
I mean,
I got a little enticed. I'm sorry. It was like, geez.
right off the bat, I mean, I obviously have the questions that I've asked before of you guys of like, what do you guys want to see in this? Because you know, I'm a little detached. I can kind of be the interviewer in this scenario of the two Street Fighter players here. So like, what are you guys interested in seeing in Street Fighter 6?
Well, number one, a full game at launch would be lovely.
yeah.
Like that. If Capcom fails and makes the same mistake twice, like I would lose all faith in that company if they made the same mistake twice. I am really banking on common sense really coming to play here, and saying that we will have more like better Street Fighter shit like coming out this first go round, rather than like of making a project and then like your teacher gives you a second chance to get the project right and then you fix it, you know, in edits.
No.
All right, Blake.
Says the rollback.
I agree with Tez, the rollback netcode. But
Billy
personally,
Blanks is rollback neck.
I might be alone in this, but I would like to see like maybe a full roster. And when I say full roster, I mean I would love to see like all of the characters kind of make a comeback. Though a lot are probably like, you know, they could probably be like college swaps for a couple. But I don't know. I would just like to see like a nice, a crazy amount of characters. But if you guys would give me like just 30 seconds, I'll be back.
I would actually probably say the opposite, to be honest. Not to say I want to see a small roster, but like Street Fighter has always and kind of thrived with making these kind of like paragons of the archetype that they are. So like the charge character, the Shoto character, the rushdown character, the zoner, all these different kinds of characters that you have in Street Fighter are always like very what's the word I want to use? They're very like purposeful. You know, every character serves a specific purpose by being there. So it's like if the roster has to be smaller for the gameplay to be that's what I would rather have. I'm
Well, for sure.
Gameplay. If you need a smaller roster because you guys want to put more work into the gameplay, like I'm not gonna be mad at that. But I'm just saying, like I said, I might be alone in this, but I would personally love to see a full roster.
Well, I think that there's justification in that though, because I mean, my question to Kai was gonna be, so yeah, obviously, like we'd rather, you know, if it had to be one or the other situation, but like, would a full roster not only provide you with all of those, you know, elements that you're looking for, but also sort of like variety in and amongst the different choices of fighting styles?
They can and they can't. You know what I mean? Like, you have games that come out that boast like really big rosters, but then what you have is like a lot of clone characters, and then a lot of characters will just get banished to like low tier hell and make it borderline unplayable. You know what I mean? For like, you know, I always use Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as one of the big examples. Is like they have a 60-man roster, but half their roster is unplayable. No, I'm sorry, like 2/3 of their roster is unplayable in tournament. You know what I mean?
Now to just like chime in on that one, there's actually been if you've been checking out the YouTube fighting game scene, like there's been a lot of people trying to show off that like the lower tiers are actual valuable options in like a tournament play or something like that. I mean, there's always like the automatic team that'll definitely be like a go-to to win, which, you know, I think there's like Dr. Doom and it's a couple.
It's MSP, which is Magneto, Storm, Psylocke. You know what I mean? Like, and then Sentinel sometimes goes in there. Cable, Dr. Doom. Like, yeah, there's
Cyclops. Like, I see some Cyclops gameplay. Like, Cyclops is broken.
he's not. He's not. It's not to say whether or not you can or can't make, you know, characters like viable, but it's the fact that like you really remember
You have to be good at the game, though. I will have to say that. Like, I don't think anybody could just pick up those characters and be good at them. Like, you have to really understand Marvel to get there. So I do get what you mean.
Yeah, but Street Fighter has and this is kind of what I was going for. Street Fighter has always had kind of more or less a balanced roster. You may get like a character or two that end up being like burnt characters, but for the most part, Street Fighter's full roster is completely playable in almost any situation, from casual to high level tournament play, right? And with the advantage of having like edits later, like, you know, and being able to update your game, they've maintained like this ultimate balance that I don't think any fighting game has come close to. Sorry about that, boys.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree on that, honestly. I don't know. Personally, I think when it comes to like the larger thing at large, I if anybody saw the hype videos and stuff that was going on with Street Fighter, like I'm gonna say that hype was only like half real. Personally.
Yeah, that was
like. Yeah, I'm happy that Street Fighter 6 is about to come out, but like, there's no way that I'm out here holding chairs in the air, screaming and hitting tape. Nah, it's not that serious. This ain't nothing.
Willie, I'm gonna look for that for you. If there's any way we can actually get,
I'll see if I can get that real quick.
That hype up. I'm looking for it right now.
What reaction?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of reactions.
Like, but you know the one I'm talking. But Malik,
The one that we watched, yeah.
Yeah, Malik, keep that going while we look for this real quick.
Anyway, like I think the game is gonna be like really dope, and I hope that when it comes to the FGC, it really like stimulates the fighting game scene on an entire like different level. You know, I mean. Currently, like, what's everybody really playing right now? In King of Fighters 15 and Guilty Gear Strive. So, like,
those no, it's actually Elden Ring. But
I'm talking about fighters. I talking about RPGs right now. And like, that's just the thing about it, you know. I have high hopes for this, and I feel like Capcom probably definitely learned from their mistakes. I just don't want this hype to like blind people, you know.
Tuna!
Hey, Tiny Tuna.
Welcome in, Tiny Tuna.
But alright, so it looks like we can't find the hype video.
Yeah, how's that hype video search coming?
Emotional damage.
You're right.
Yes, you are.
Somebody's coming hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
but
was
either
it?
way,
Was
like,
it? Was it? Oh, it was a live stream of somebody's, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot. I was hoping somebody. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll let it be for now. But yeah, the hype was like so like kind of like forced on it, and I just remember like seeing the guys. I was just like, man, you guys don't believe like jack shit that you're talking about right now. I know you don't.
Yeah, no, there's no way they do. Like, there's no way. But man, if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. That's all I really got to say on Street Fighter 6, honestly.
Yeah, it sucks that like people kind of get paid, you know, like to get. I mean, I get it. I even remember in the
It's cool. I'm not mad at you. Get your money. Like,
yeah, but it's like, all right, bro, like for real, like cool, bro. Okay, so I did find it. If we want to like look at it,
Yeah,
but
do it.
It's at the tail end of a.
Well, send me the timestamp and the link.
Nice.
I'm about to send it to Discord real quick. I'm about to send it to Discord real quick. Chat, this will be
Dice
worth it, I
wants
promise.
to sow confusion.
That's it. She's taking advantage of the fact that we're trying to get shit done here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much. He is true chaotic neutral.
Chaos.
That's 6:13:38. Okay, so it's at 6:13:38. But anyway, so kind of just to talk about what happened like during that Street Fighter reveal, like obviously they played like the trailer, then they like cut back to all the guys. You know what I mean? They're just like, what? Like Street Fighter's amazing. And I'm like,
the best part of that. I'm not even going front. Punk is the best part of that.
yeah.
Alright, here we go. So.
Yeah, it should be 6-13,
Oh.
18 this round pause at.
6-13, 18. Alright, there we go. Here
I'm
we
sorry,
go.
6-13.
No, here's the trailer. Here's the trailer. Alright. So yes, we have the trailer. We have the excessive flexing, Bigfoot's toes.
I'm telling you that toe flex. Really...
Somehow all of a sudden they turned the sauna heat up in here, and he's sweating a bunch, but only on
Why
his back,
is he so sweaty? Look
which is kind of confusingly. Oh, maybe it's him. Maybe it's like he's exhibiting heat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, where are they right now?
Yeah, what is this environment? Is this a black box theater? What is this?
Oh my god.
More
Okay,
news,
and
Summer.
this is the reaction that we were talking about. Ready? Ready for it? Wait for it. Wait for it. No!
That's a lie.
He's just like, oh my god!
That's explained.
Like, and keep in mind that they all have like wired headsets on.
They're like carrying the stool.
That dude's on his phone. They're just like, I guess he's
He's just
tweeting.
like holding. Oh.
David Chen, I know is having a real reaction. That's David Chen. He's emotional about everything.
He's just an emotional person.
Look at Punk.
Look.
He the only one with the.
Why are you holding your chair?
Like, there's
Oh my god.
there's so much going on in this trailer that just doesn't.
And
need
you
that.
can see the guy in the middle is like trying to justify his excitement about the flexing. He's like, come on,
They're
man.
talking about how wide Ryu is. He's like, you see how wide Ryu is? Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah, there's Dice says why is he holding the chair?
Exactly.
It's just rewind it, like just rewind it back to that point. We don't have to talk about it again, but just give them their grace on this one. Just to
Why are you holding your chair? Even she's wondering why she's holding the chair.
She's marching.
She's like, I have no idea. They asked me to do this. They asked me to hold up a chair angrily. Like, I don't get it.
Oh my god. Get your money, young man. Get your money, young man.
Put the clown says put the chair down. What did the chair do in this scenario to deserve this? You know what I mean? I'm not sure. But yeah, so
You aren't the only one, Chad, who heard it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
curse this mic and how good it is.
Let's keep it rolling. It don't seem like anybody noticed. So just keep going.
Okay.
Ain't nobody knows, so keep going.
Alright. Alright. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next one. Let's get the next one ripping. Oh my god.
That's what they call playing it through.
Let's professionals there. Only professionals.
Oh my god. Alright, so anyways, next up on the list is Elden Ring. And as I get the
Macaroni with the chicken strips.
Nice. So as I get that queued up, the gameplay for Mr. Killam's takeover playing of it, Mr. Killam himself, why don't you start by answering what the death count's up to? Probably somewhere in the 50s, but also start to share your opinion. My God, what have you thought so far?
Alright, So my death count, I'm not sure where it is. I'm only counting when I'm streaming. Besides that, it's the long, hard haul of learning for me. But no, seriously though. If I'm to seriously like give my opinions on the game, I think Elden Ring is really great. Now, before I really get into like all the praises, I'm gonna get into like the negatives. But let me preface this with, I do think the game is amazing. I haven't made it that far through the game. Also, I'm not like hundreds of hours in. I didn't spend like all night up until right now playing. Like, nah. But the performance issues are probably the most noticeable thing. And if anybody has been like going through Steam reviews, Metacritic reviews, and all that, you'll probably see some people saying something about it. Yes, on PC, the frame rate issues are like really up there, but like it's not like it's just randomly happening. It's like in specific spots. It's quite weird. But besides that, everything else about this game has just been amazing. I've spent probably like a good 10 hours playing so far, and like I've barely even I just beat like the first actual boss. I spent so much time like just exploring and checking out the world and like trying to get items and level up. Like it's a breath of fresh air on the Souls formula. Honestly, like adding open world to this game, I think was utterly amazing. Just handing it off to anybody else that wants to say it.
Willie, you spent some time playing all the
Well, I was actually gonna say, Kai, do you have anything to add in before? Because you're right, I was watching, I had some.
Well, I'd like
yes,
to.
nice. I did murder a Twitter.
I'd like to hear your thoughts. But...
Okay. So I came into this initially excited, but very sort of cautiously, optimistically skeptical about the whole thing. I didn't. I haven't played any of the Dark Souls like through. I played like one of them for a few minutes and then did not enjoy the punishment mechanics nature of it and decided to leave. However, I was intrigued by this because, you know, it had that multiplayer component to it. I will say that my sentiments pretty similarly echo what Killam's experience has been. I think that there's a lot of day one bugs. And
emotional damage.
Makina's here.
Makina! Well, that was well timed. Yes, it was. But I like in class. Like there are day one things in there that I don't know if they should be. I guess you can make the argument that that this is their first foray into like an open world version of multiplayer and the way it's working, but apparently they've still had multiplayer before. So even that, I'm kind of like, I don't know, there's lots of little things that I was like, it didn't seem necessary for this to have been the way it needed to be, and it's getting in the way of what is otherwise, and it probably, like, what seems to be a very enjoyable experience among both people that haven't played a Dark Souls, such as Pete Moss, who we were playing with last night, and you. I mean, like, it's drawing in audiences of all people, and even myself included. Like, I do want to eventually get it. I just kind of want to wait until they deal with all the FPS issues. But like, and that in and of itself right there is, I think, just sort of it's, as I think you said, it's frustrating that something so silly is holding back.
Yeah, like it's like the only reason why I wouldn't recommend this game to someone who hasn't played Dark Souls before is because of that, you know. Yes, Machina, we are talking about the game we're just excited about. Like, actually, I was just talking with Kai earlier about like Elden Ring a little bit, and you know what? You wanna take us through that, Kai?
Yeah, Kai, why don't you share your opinion?
Well, I mean, your opinion.
Yeah, share your opinions on what's you know. What do you think?
So, like, me particularly, I'm not like a Souls like type person. But I'm happy for the community that they've got an opportunity to play the game and enjoy it. I thought Elden Ring with the open world like aspect of it looked to be a little bit more. I don't want to say easier, but I guess a lot less punishing in terms of like having like go back to like specific places and like clear specific levels and like kind of like a story progression campaign kind of feel. You know what I mean? That's probably the only thing I can like say about it. But I got some questions. I was like, Willie actually brought up a really good format with the whole interview style thing. How do you guys feel about this in comparison to say like a Dark Souls or a Neo? And like, if you had to rank those three, like where would you put them amongst any other games you can think of that fall into this category?
I mean, how would you say rank? Are we talking about like ranking in difficulty, enjoyability? Like,
let's say enjoyability. Like, just what do you think the best game is?
Out of the three of those, I would put this as number one, honestly.
Whoa, straight off the bat.
Yeah, when it comes to enjoyability, for sure. And
I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really surprise me.
I think that Neo and Neo 2 can probably be number two. Dark Souls would be like number three on that.
That's exactly why I thought you were putting it as number one.
I'll give you this progression as someone who's played like all three games, all three series or whatever. It's like Dark Souls has a really like slow, calculated like way like formula to it and on how you play. Like I explained this like a couple months ago in the difference between like Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. Dark Souls gameplay feels like it's trying to teach you to become better. Like that's like it punishes you for like all the little things that you do wrong, and when you start like figuring out what to do right, it starts like adding on more things to like to show you that like the game like progressively gets harder, but as you learn, like you won't feel like this is as difficult, and when you do get over a milestone, you will feel very like satisfied. Neo in the way that it's built is like it kind of follows that same philosophy a little bit, but it has like a faster based combat with a more in-depth like equipment mechanism, you can switch out like perks and all this other stuff that you can do to it. Like it favors builds like very heavily. For Elden Ring though, now yeah, I'll say it still follows the formula of Dark Souls or whatever when it comes to like, how it's actually like, how its gameplay actually like works out and being formulaic, but it's not that simple anymore. It's like with the addition of the open world, it allows you to actually think more about how to take on a challenge. Like if you look at my gameplay right now, I'm sitting here fighting this dude on horseback. But there's like many other ways that I could have like sat and actually like approached him. I could have like snuck up on him and like shot some magic at him. I could have just like ran straight up on foot and been like, "Yo, come on, fight me over here." Like, there's some things that you can do, or I can call in some friends and we can jump them. But like,
not to miss the chat for a second, but like, Clown says Neo 2, hell no. and then Makina says Destiny 1, Destiny 2, Destiny 2.
The second release of Destiny 2, and then Animal Crossing. Gotcha, yes.
And the Animal Crossing. I understand why you feel that way.
Be right back.
But nah, like I think that when it comes to like the new player, like the person who is going to be like coming in and playing this for the first time, I think this game is going to be really friendly to that person. There's a lot of friendly mechanics that's in there that like lets you have more control over like how punishing the game actually feels. You can like fast travel from anywhere now. You can you still have the whole souls thing going on where you drop your souls and you can go pick them up, but like it feels like you don't have to fight certain things. Like I figured out a way to get around the first boss, but like I still did it anyway earlier, like while playing co-op. But it's really interesting to see like how open this game can be, and I still got time to put in. I'm just wondering how far does it go.
That's definitely a thing I have. I'm curious about, because actually one of the things that we were also looking at after you had hopped off last night was whether or not like instances, dungeons, those sorts of things reset. And we didn't know. I mean, we went back in there immediately after he had cleared out that wolf, area, and there was nothing back in there. But as we discovered with when you were pairing up with Force and Six, you each of you guys would have then been able to go back and repeat the same boss on each of your different worlds. So, which we were wondering about from, even last night. So we're wondering, is it a situation of where it's like each person will have that? Do these dungeons and instances reset after a little while? Because, I mean, again, there is a lot that you can do and a lot that you can see. And, I mean, I would argue that a huge thing about open world things is that certain things can be repeated if you want to go back in and, have some more fun with an area. Otherwise, you start to slowly scavenge your world. Whether or not that's going to be the case here or not, it obviously remains to be seen, but definitely does speak to, there's still a lot to be answered. There's still a lot to find out about this.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, well, I'm guessing that really wraps it up for us.
Wait, no, my bad. I was muted. I didn't realize I was fucking muted. Sorry. I muted myself.
Emotional damage.
Yeah,
Perfect,
yeah, exactly.
Perfect
nice.
timing.
Perfect
timing. But no, I was gonna say, with Dark Souls, you make the claim that Elden Ring is the best of the series so far, and you have yet to complete it. This is. Do you feel, and I kind of want to expand this into a grander topic too, do you feel as though you're kind of living within the curse of the moment here? And do you feel as though that the curse of the moment happens a lot with these new type games that come out, like the Lost Arks, like the Elden Rings, games of the moment type feel?
You make a very good point, which would probably lead us into our next topic. But just to.
But actually, before you do, yeah, because I have some thought about that as well.
To stay on this one, I would love to be I do feel like I might just be caught up in a hype with this a little bit, but that's not really the case here. I'm calling this the best one because it's this weird feeling, right? It's like this game doesn't give me the same pressure as other Dark Souls games usually give me, right? We had this conversation last night with Six, and there's this lack of pressure that's if you've ever picked up a Dark Souls game, you feel pressured. When you start fighting and getting into the mechanics, you're like, oh no, I can't do this or I can't do that. In this game, it doesn't feel like, oh no, I can't do this. It feels more like
the open world nature of the game kind of allows you to have that safety space of oh, I can get out of here if I need to. I'm not just in for punishment until I can get through it.
Yeah, and how some of the game mechanics are the sneaking around and the riding on horseback and even just the jump mechanic, it lets you have a different relationship with the space and what you want to do. I keep saying, this game's options is what's really making this game really dope for me.
I want to just go ahead and real quick rewind so that everybody can see what exactly just happened there and why all of a sudden he took off in a dead panic towards the nearest enclosure.
Oh yeah, in the gameplay up in the corner, I was running away from a dragon. I ran over a bunch of people who were singing in the field or whatever, and I was just like, hey, what they doing over here? Is this a party? And then a dragon just rolled up, so I was like, no, I'm good.
And it was very clear that he had just interrupted a dragon's mealtime offering or something.
Yeah, I ain't want no smoke.
So wait, before you just chime in, I to kind of piggyback off of that. Wait for it. Hold on. And you can actually see the dragon swoop in the sky.
I told you all I saw was his feet, and I was like, no.
Oh my god. No, but I think there is also something else that kind of really brings us full circle. Now, I haven't played any of the previous entries, so what was I did need some milk. What was the multiplayer like in previous Dark Souls?
So
Because you
I
said that
only
it has
played
existed.
Yeah, I only played it a couple times, and played around with it with Graham. There was somebody else I used to play with. I forget.
But was it like did you progress through the story? Was it just like specific
Well,
things that you did, or?
I would usually just get them to help me out with like bosses and stuff like that. I would like path my way all the way up to the boss, and then like summon a friend. We just like run straight over there and like do the boss run together. And honestly, that was pretty fun. Like I enjoyed that, And it seems like this game still has that concept. Like if you guys go off and go kill a boss together, like they disappear and they get a reward or whatever, and that's all nice and fine and dandy. But like, the co-op in this game feels a lot different. Again, probably because of the open world. Like, it feels more like you're with a party, like an actual RPG party. Like, I'm playing.
And that's
and like, Six and Force are playing physical characters. Like they're playing what's the name? I forget what Six is playing actually, but I know Force is playing Hero, and that's more like a barbarian class. Like it relies heavily on strength. I think he's playing a Faith Knight. Yeah, I think that's what Six is playing, a Faith Knight. But like you really can play a role in these games. Like it's a little different from Dark Souls, where it's like all of you guys kind of all do the same thing. Like yeah, you got magic, but eventually you're gonna have to jump in here and like get some hits in. In this case, it was like, nah, like straight up, like my best bet was to play my role, like be a mage. Like it works out better for me to do that instead of being like, nah, let me switch tactics. It's like I don't know, like this game.
So you were only allowed to bring in one other person previously, then, right?
No. You can bring in up to 2 people. If you see, like in the screen now, we're
No, but I'm saying in previous Dark
like
Souls
games.
Oh, in previous Souls, yeah, you can only bring in one person.
So that, I would say, in and of itself, kind of like, I mean, obviously the the bigger the party, yeah, you can like do more things with it. But there was actually another question I had in there about if adding in that third person, like, is that just enough? Do you think that like more would make it overpowered? Is the triumvirate tag team the best for this scenario, or is it?
I mean, clearly the try is better than anything else. But
I'm saying
we know that
the try is the most way to have
it's
fun.
It's the strongest foundation.
Rock solid.
I mean, Will, you were there last night when we were.
Well, no, but so the reason what I'm really getting at here is in addition to the fact that obviously like it would be cool if like I could then join, like we could expand it to maybe like a total of 5. But I don't know if that would ruin the experience, because much like you said, when you bring in other people into this game, it does add in that element where you really have to kind of like, you're allowed to really focus in on what your class does, as opposed to just like hitting them with whatever you got. Like like class prioritization and working together in that sense was really important. So do you think that's something that would be minimized if you brought in more people, maximized? What are your thoughts on that?
I think one more person wouldn't hurt. Like if this had like you could be 4 people deep, like that'd be pretty dope. Then you could actually have someone focus on the faith build and try to be like a buffer who like heals and buffs. Like that'd be pretty dope. But I think 3 is good enough. Like 2 probably definitely didn't feel like enough in a game like this, but like 3 feels really good. Like I don't know, it just works. It just has good synergy from what I've felt,
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if this, with the open world tactics, with the multiplayer, it seems like a much more forgiving game. You know what I mean?
Ha.
Does it lose? I mean, I understand you die a lot, right? But I mean, Souls, you died a bunch. Like it was.
This is actually an area where, even though I haven't played it, I can definitely chime in, because I know from Malik's playing of it, this is sort of one of those instances where it's possible that it's hard to say right now until some things possibly get addressed, because like Malik was trying to deal with this that guy on the horse by himself earlier, and was just like, it was just not happening because of like the area of effect and all the different hitboxes that I had, like they was calculating in.
But you thought he was more like poorly balanced than he was like necessarily like
Yeah, I didn't
supposed to be
feel
that
like-
hard.
Yeah, I didn't feel like, something was wrong, like they over-tuned him. I feel like part of me felt like he might just be a bit unbalanced, like there's like something up with the hitboxes for certain things, but at the same time, I think what was really frustrating was this one move that he kept doing specifically, which at first, I'll be real, like that shit was just annoying me, and I kind of definitely feel like it's cheap. But like now that I think about it more and more, he could have just been punishing me for rolling like at a specific time. Like it could have been a timing based move, which is a thing in these types of games. So I don't know with that one, but like I do think that the difficulty kind of does this like up and down roller coaster thing, right? Like it feels like any enemy that is difficult, you can avoid on some level, but anything that's like not, it's like you're basically gonna have to go through it. But anything that is difficult, you can find some way around it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to be the big cheese, the head honcho. You can't be out here ducking them, man. You know what I mean? You out here in these Elden Ring streets, in these
No, but Kai, there is some validity to it, which is that, part of their objective on the developer side was to make this experience that was more approachable to a wider audience. I mean, that was like a thing that they really wanted to do.
I'm being completely just satirical.
Well, no, but because it does bring up, like, because the nature of Souls games is punishment. Like, I mean, punishment mechanics and like really making you work to figure out like what all the best timing is and so on and so forth. But at the same time, like, it is really about striking that balance between the previous Dark Souls and something that is still interesting for people. I mean, Effects Life even talked about this, like finding the right balance between approachable for new people, fun and new for returners, that's approachable but still Dark Souls. It's like, that's a really difficult line to strike.
Yeah, it is. You gotta find it. I like these shield bashes that you're doing. Really,
Man, all I got to say is, if you want to have fun in this game, just go get yourself a strength build and a big meaty weapon and have at it.
Meaty weapon.
And yeah,
And-
maybe
and-
like a bunch of magic.
have
And,
your weapon.
Valheim lovers, they do have Death Skeetos in this apparently, as you can see. So,
Yes, death beetles, they're just rampant.
yeah, they're simply
Alright.
Death Dragonflies. All right.
Speaking
yes.
of death mosquitoes.
Very nice.
Did you not have
very,
something?
very,
Like,
very nice.
You were on the cusp of something and you just lost it.
Flawless execution.
Speaking of blood-sucking liches, there you go.
Oh my god.
Consumerism ruining games, Willie.
Yes. So, let me just get that on here. So, this is something that was sort of not brought up to me. This is something that I kind of thought up based off of an article that PC Gamer released, stating that all that Steam Decks aren't going to be getting the launch that they deserve, and it made me think, well, okay, so are we heading towards this path where that's just not gonna be like, there's not gonna be any more exciting launch days of old? I mean, there will be, obviously, because like you had Elden Ring, you had Lost Ark. I mean, but that's more for the gaming side. Like, when it comes to hardware, is consumerism ruining the playing field? The desire to always have something new coming out, is it ruining the game for gamers?
Yeah, we taking it away?
Yeah.
Taking it away. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel as though just the amount of parity that's out there with things that are coming out, between the Steam Deck and the Facebook Metaverse and
Gaming TV shows.
the gaming TV shows. I mean, we're just in an age of abundance. You know what I mean? And like that being the case, yeah, shit's not gonna hit as hard. Like I look at like TV right now as like this is the best TV has ever been, ever. You know what I mean? Like you got shows that come out that are classics that come out with like 9 seasons, and video games that come out that can do everything except fucking fly and cook you breakfast. You know what I mean? We are spoiled, man, and yeah. So like the hype is gone, but I think you just find the personal thing that you get hype for now. That's all.
I mean, I feel like this is a little hard for me to really like sit here and judge. I want to agree with Kai and say like, yeah, like we really are in a great age when it comes to consumerism and like video games, to be honest. But at the same time, like there's a lot of like little things that run rampant in the video game like universe right now that aren't that like positive, that is actually being funded by the consumers. You know, like. You got to think about situations like think about Cyberpunk's release, right? Like, yeah, we could sit here and like the executives of that company do take the blame in that, but at the same time, you got to think about like the consumerism behind it. Why were they so focused on wanting to like get the game off? Because they wanted your money. They knew that people were hyped for it and they would consume it no matter what like state that it was in. I mean, sure, it blew back on them in the long run, but like, look at it. What happened? I mean, and then you're still running the same risk on games like Elden Ring, like games like what are people excited for to come out? Final Fantasy Remake 2. Like you're banking all that hype to make a dollar, you know. But if we as consumers controlled that a little bit better on how we present it, our like hype, maybe like gaming companies would change how they do things because they would see that it's not as easy.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there. Like, hey, chat, how are we looking on the stream? Are we frozen here? I feel like.
No, we're chugging a little bit, but it's not that we're chugging. It's the background is chugging.
Oh.
Like the little triumvirate. It's like now it's not. Now it's still just.
That's fine.
All right, well as long as it's doing fine, that's all that matters. All right, sorry, keep talking.
Yeah, I mean that's about it, man. I mean, I can't say consumerism is
What's up,
necessarily destroying it. Nor can I say that it's doing both. I think consumerism is really like burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, I would say that's, but I would also say that is sort of, yeah. It's, I mean, consumerism is the unfortunate nature of the beast is that yes, it's gonna kill no matter what, because it's about taking something and making it commercially viable, which, you know, by and of itself is just means like things might have to be lost, and that can in and of like ipso facto that can lead to the original, you know, appeal of something being lost. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, because you do have situations like with Cyberpunk and you know with I mean with any sort of release where it's like, you know, people paid money for it and it wasn't what it cracked up to be, or you know it didn't run well. I mean, whatever the case is, consumerism does actually affect that. Maybe not how fast things get released, but like the push on and the pressure on devs to just get something out before it's ready. And you can very plainly see when something was given the time it needed versus when something wasn't. But the overall thing is, I would say 100%, because gaming now is not just confined to PC or to consoles. Gaming is on just about every little thing. I mean, technically speaking, gaming now exists on Amazon, like on Alexas, because you can play Skyrim like the Alexa adventures or whatever they're called. You know, it's so gaming is literally everywhere, and the more things that enable us to play them is very cool and very exciting. But there's just the also nature of the beast, which is it's not like these things just magically appear.
Nope.
And as downing as like, you know, kind of like Debbie Downer is, there is something like really to consider here. I mean, because like unless we find a successful alternative choice for the silicon issue, that's not going to go away. I mean, it's only going to become harder and harder and more scarce and scarce to get, you know, products, anything that requires it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, I mean, not to get all into that, though, but that's why they've been looking into, like, silicone alternatives and all that type of thing. But, like, you know, let's try to focus on, like, the core thing of this and, like, how, like, consumer might be affecting video games directly.
Well, I'd actually like to actually bring up something that was just brought up, which is like the shareholders, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about the game devs themselves, a lot of the times we know the type of game that they want to put out. We know the time that they want to take to put into it and the crafting that they want to put into it. So you really have the developers versus the people that want to put the game out and just make money for it. Like, and so like the pressure's on them to create something as quickly as they can, even though they're saying like, hey dude, I need more time, I need more money, you know what I mean? I need, you know, a bigger crew, whatever the case may be. They're just like, no, you can only have one of those things and you gotta give me something for my time being. It's like, we should really start to, I mean, if I was looking at it, I'd be like, push for the divide between them two and protections for developers to create in a safe environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I also think there needs to be some sort of divide. But really, like, now that I'm like sitting here saying that out loud, at the same time, it's like, maybe that's like part of the problem, is that like the shareholders and, you know, the people on the business end are divided from the actual like developers. They like, it's like they live in two separate worlds. It's like most of the people on the business end of it don't even like see video games. They only see like the trailers that people make or the tech demo that comes up and comes out. They never like go through the entire process or like the artistry of it, you know, really. So I don't know. I feel like if people on the business side like understood more on like why these games are more than just that, games, and are like, you know, pieces of actual like artwork or like any media is, you know, and like it's right to just like exist and given its right to have like time, you know, like you wouldn't rush a painter doing a mural, you know.
Some people would. Yes, you're right. It's well, and I think there's also, I mean, look no farther than NFTs. Like, companies are now like, no, but like big, like it's like Capcom, like all of these companies are like considering NFTs and like the future of their placement in games, because they realize how stupid easy it is to make money, how like as fast as they do.
I mean, that's just the chase of dollar. I mean, at this point, though, we're not really talking about the consumers. Like, that's more like the companies themselves. And I feel like our real target should be like talking about the consumers and how they're directly affecting video games. Like I was saying, when we talk about like why we want the Triumvirate to exist and why we want this podcast to be here, it's because one of my my person
chat. Hold on one second, guys. Discord was deciding that it didn't want to play Super Nice, so it just decided to have a gigantic freakout.
Was that just Discord?
Yes, Discord just because the stream's still going. Like, and people can still probably hear my voice, I'm guessing. Oh yeah. Oh no, the stream is broken. Yep, I know, guys. Hold on.
We died.
It died. All right. And we should be back.
I switched to the panic secret tunnel.
Alrighty then. Are we all good? We all solid?
We are all good. We are all good. We're all solid.
Dice was just like, secret tunnel. That'll get him off.
Stall for time. Stall for time.
Oh my goodness. Alright, but in later news, like I was saying though, like the consumer is. Let me ask you this question: when does the issues in the gaming industry actually become the consumer's fault? Like you sit here and you take a game like Battlefield 2042, and everybody is upset on the state of the game. How could why can I not? EA, right? EA, yeah. How could
That's
EA
correct, Dice.
let this game be released this way? You know, it's like. Right, you guys played the demo of this game, the open beta or whatever, and you guys saw all these issues, like both the company and the consumers. Why would you, instead of being like, hey, if you're gonna release this game and this open beta is only with this long, if you've learned anything, this is like the state of the game is probably gonna release it. Why did you guys buy it? Like, if nobody would have bought it, if like 50% of you wouldn't have bought this game, they would have immediately tried to retract it or come up with some statement or apology or said something. They'd have felt that hit, you know?
Damn, so really? Redeeming all the stuff.
Well, I felt we needed to take a quick stretch break if we wanted.
No, that is true. But like, that's my question to you, honestly. When do we start blaming the consumer?
You can't because the consumer isn't a person or even a entity that you can really point to. It is just a collection of people. It is an amassment of many completely different facets, sometimes opposing ideas. You know what I mean? That all gets together to like basically buy a specific kind of game or whatever the case may be.
You're saying to me I can't blame them for their ignorance?
No, what I'm saying is some of them may really just not care. Some of them may support this. You're talking about Republicans, Democrats, gay, straight, black, white, Hispanic, across the board. Differences in financial status and other things.
Kai has a very valid point because you have to consider FIFA still releases titles every year that people buy up in troves.
Still buy into it.
And so that's the thing is that there's individuals out there that this is just their shit and they do not care. They just straight up don't care. So that's why I'm saying I don't think. As much as I want to be yeah, it's obviously on the consumer's end, there's another part of me that says...
Not the ones who are aware and just don't care, because that's not the average consumer. The ones that are aware and don't care, no, the average consumer are the ones who are not aware and don't care. That's why I feel like consumers should take a very large portion of the blame for this,
You're talking.
Me too. I'm included in that. Consumers should take the blame. There's definitely games that I bought knowing that they were gonna be suck, knowing that they were gonna be bad. That I just forget it. I'm gonna do it anyway because I want to know.
You're talking about Jeff that works at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Who has a shitty job that he works 50 hours a week at, lifting boxes. And the only thing he wants to do is come home and play his favorite football team in Madden against his buddies. He don't care, bro. He don't. He got real life shit going on that bothers him. So when we go oh, it's the fault of the consumer, the average consumer, for really talking about the average consumer, really doesn't care like that. They're it's a game. You know what I mean?
That's true. However, the story that you just put forward does not give me any more or less sympathy for that individual who's playing it.
It makes me understand.
It's very understandable why they, but it's still like they're still contributing to that problem. And
well, what I'm saying, but it's not whether or not I wanted you to feel sympathetic for him. I was the fact that like me just saying he doesn't care. I think
that's the reality.
Right, but you're also, but you're saying though that you can't put the blame in the consumer, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think like you have to understand the consumer, but you can also definitely still blame the consumer.
Yeah, I mean to a certain.
Wait. I want to ask chat. If anybody's out there and has been listening, how do you guys feel on this stuff? Like how do you guys see this? You know. But go ahead, Julian. Probably decide to answer that.
Yeah, I mean the way I look at it is that like we're even using the word the consumer like single like this is a singularity. It. These are a bunch of different people that just happen to buy similar products. But even in that, we're talking about hundreds of products. We're not just talking about one product. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about sports games, you know, action games, first-person shooters, real-time strategy, whatever the case may be. And that wide variety to me just says like, there's no way I can't give accountability to the consumer because I can't really point to who the consumer is and be like, hey, do this and change. Like what avenue do you go to talk to all these people that they all listen to, right? Not all of them watch IGN. Not all of them are on blogs or posts or podcasts like we have here. You know what I mean? Not all of them are on Twitter or something like that or some. That's why I look at it.
I see, but Kai, you're veering into the territory of just like it's pointless to try to spread word about something for people to gain action on because there's no one universal platform. But that completely eliminates like, I mean, how do you think Streamlabs, like OBS finally got Streamlabs to apologize and like on Twitter and all that kind of stuff? It was because it got around enough. Like, it's not going to just be one specific spot. It's going to be people from here. Like, let's just pretend that like everybody in the chat was, you know, like a protester of it, and was like, okay, yeah, let's go forth and like let's spread the word. So you have, let's say you have like 8 other people besides us in here right now, right? So you have those 8 people, and then go tell their friends, whose friends may be on a social media platform, and like it's just like it's a spider webbing effect.
Well, I don't think that's so. Here's my thing about it. Like, I want gaming, at least when it comes to like the news about gaming and the things that like go on in its inner workings, to reach the level where the average person does know about these things. Because it's genuinely important at this point in our like technological history or whatever. Like, you gotta think about it. The government has already stepped its hands into gaming several times now. Like, you got things like internet neutrality going on. You literally have a government supporting a gaming company.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah. So you literally have a government supporting a gaming company, you know, CDPR, if we're gonna name it. But like, it's amazing to me on what level like gaming has reached, how popular, how many people play it. You have 1 million concurrent people playing a game. Sure, I mean, in a sea of like a 3-point-something billion in our country, like that's really nothing. But like, I just don't understand how there can be so many gamers, how it can be so common to meet someone else who plays a game, and at this point, people still aren't worried about the social side. People still aren't worried about like the stuff that happens at Activision.
So Cheese actually brings up a very good point about this. When I spend $60 for a game, I want the whole game, not a quarter of the game, and then pay another $40 for an expansion.
See,
like, I think everybody agrees, right? And this is the way you got to look at it. In finance, consumerism is looked more of as a like force of nature than it is an actual something that you can like.
Yeah, you're coming through very crackly.
Oh, come on. All right, y'all continue.
Comcast not trying to help you out today.
Speaking of government intervention in certain things and private businesses and all that kind of nonsense, Comcast, you can't stifle our voices, thank you. In fact, if anything, my guy Kai would probably be on your corporation side, man.
Yeah.
No,
Comcast.
yeah, well, that's fair. Kai, you're not wrong. There is an element of truth of what you're getting at, which is that like it is too hard. Like they don't look at it. Consumerism isn't looked at like, you know, Tom, Jerry, and your Aunt Melinda. Like, it's looked at in demographics. It's looked at in buying blocks, like what regions are gonna go for where. I mean, shit. Like, if you think
numbers on a board.
If you even just look at the commercial side of things, like the marketing side of things, they straight up will have commercials for different regions of the United States about the exact same thing, depending on what they think their audience is gonna like. So it's all just metrics at that point. But this is the reason why I don't think that's a satisfying enough answer, is because metrics are dictated by people's actions, and we have already seen what happens when enough people have learned about something and want to make a difference. Like, news and things can get out there. Is it going to solve the problem just by itself? Probably not. There are still going to be the people, like, you know, we have pointed out, buying the FIFA, buying whatever it is just in troves who don't care, or just don't have the time to care or the energy to care for whatever the reason is. But the hope is that enough people can start to, like, even if it's just younger gamers who are just like growing up, and so just learning like not to just take like the cheap shit for granted, because if it's not addressed now, think about how bad this is all going to be down the line.
Yeah. I think. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think it has been addressed. It's been addressed 1,000 times over. It's not about the exercise in futility for me. Right? It is do whatever it is that you feel as though you have to do. But what I'm saying is, in specifically talking about the consumer as this thing that you can control, it's not. Consumerism is a force of nature. You put it in a good way, which was that it's about the actions of the consumer, but more so it's about the reactions of the consumer to the products that get put out. You really can't control reactions. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody buys,
of course not.
If somebody puts something out there, whether they buy it or not, that's the reaction to you putting it out there. And what you're trying to do is tell people, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And those people go, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. You can't control me. That's the one thing human beings hate the most, is being told what they can't do. You know? That's all I'm saying. Is like,
yo, Ashok, what's up? Sorry, keep going. I wanted to say hi.
That's it. That was the gist of the point before my internet decided, you know.
You are sounding a little bit like a metal recorder again. I won't lie. But yes, but that still doesn't really take away from what we're saying, which is that their reactions aren't something you can control, but their initial reactions aren't something you can control. But
there we go.
How it affects them and their reaction over time, like their not initial reaction, but their response, if you will, is something that you can influence. Their reaction, no. Reactions are in the moment. Responses is something that you can control, or you can influence.
Yeah, I think these reactions can be influenced as long as the information is there. Like, what we're talking about when we're talking about all this like consumerism stuff is essentially just ignorance at the end of the day. And I mean, like, the actual definition of it. It's not just what people say. It's like the lack of, like, the willing lack of such knowledge. You know, like
Another thing I think is important to keep in mind here. I was gonna say another important key thing to keep in mind here is that it doesn't need to be the entirety of all of their sales. It just needs to be enough people so that it significantly hurts the sales. Because, as we have stated many times, it's money. It's all money to them. They don't care. If they think something is getting in the way of their money, then they will listen.
I just need to convince 25%. That's it.
Right? 25% is set hills.
In anybody's,
that is definitely going to get a response from the company.
They will definitely do something about it. 25% is all you need. Just a fourth of the overall audience. Like,
do you understand in most cases how big 25%?
Like that, it's big.
It's big, but it's not impossibly big.
It's like, yo, if we could listen, if I could take 25% of those people and get them to tune into the Triumvirate TV,
but Kai, but you're brushing it off as though like that's never kind of happened before. Like like this kind of thing has happened before. Companies had to respond to severe backlash. Like it is steep and it doesn't happen often, but it has happened, which proves that it can.
Those are totally different scenarios. Once again, what we're talking about here, what we're talking about here never really falls out of the realm of this being an ecosystem, and things happen that disrupt ecosystems. I'm not saying that. They're not man-made things, bro. It's usually things that happen that are just uncontrolled, like a scandal breaks out, you know what I mean? Something comes out and gets leaked, you know what I mean? Something from within those companies usually comes out and is like, oh, this is unacceptable, versus the general practices that they've been doing, unless they are like the Blizzard scandal.
I feel like take no further look than just what happened with Cyberpunk, what's happening with Cyberpunk, hopefully, but also with No Man's Sky. Like, people backlashed the hell out of that game. And as a result, they have never charged, and please don't change this policy, Hello Games, because it's what we really like you for right now, is they have not charged for a single DLC that they have released since.
Yeah, that is a natural reaction to something that happened within the course of the development of those games, right? That had nothing to do with somebody saying, hey guys, you guys should go out there and not support this because they're doing this. That was the game coming out, it being trash, and then they were like, oh, the ecosystem reacted to that being trash. That's how that worked. It wasn't
yes and no.
You're trying to, it's like you're trying to create like a tidal wave. You can't. It's the ocean, brother. You know what I mean?
But why can't you? Like,
I don't think that's true.
Have thought about, like,
yeah, you can totally create. You can absolutely create a tsunami. You set off a bomb in the middle of the ocean, dude. Yeah. You just created tsunamis across all major continents. Don't tell me that shit's not possible.
But to be honest, though, like, the guy does have a point. Like, and so do you, Willie. Like, we're not. None of us are particularly wrong in what we're saying here. It's just that the depth and like the chance of something like this happening is like slim and like just wild. Like it's.
Let me. Okay, I will. If it needs to be a situation of it is what it is, or agree to disagree, then so be it. But let me just put this forward: is the very fact that like. People, like, I did not initially approach Cyberpunk, or sorry, not even Cyberpunk, both actually. I did not approach No Man's Sky, though, because from word of mouth, I heard, do not buy it, it is a trash game right now, there's a lot of shit that's happening. So whether it was by ear, by somebody posting reviews on Steam, like, whatever it is, it was still that the reporting of it that got it. Now, maybe it wasn't somebody saying, hey, don't buy this game because of that, because yes, you're right, the likelihood of that working is not very high, but it's not, you can't, like, issues can be reported that then people can rally around that demand a response.
Yeah. I'll say this is my closing statement for it, right? We're talking about two completely different types of phenomena, right? One, we are talking about a game having natural fuck ups and things like that the industry then, or that consumers then react to, versus accepted business practices and policies that have been in place for decades, or a decade at least, right? You're asking. One is a reaction. Two is asking people to stop what they've already been doing, what they've already accepted as truth, into something else. I would.
Okay.
I mean, we are though. We're trying. Oh, well, I am. I'm gonna be honest. As my closing statement, I am trying to break the pattern. My dream is to break that pattern. I want it gone. I want the average person to actually get like you don't have to care like I care, but I want you to care enough to be like, my kid's not playing this because y'all sexually abuse people. Like that's what I would love to hear. Like,
I do think my final statements on it is this. I don't think that is personally the case, because or if it is, then it is something that was a created situation and thus can be broken up. Just because something is part of a vicious cycle doesn't mean a vicious cycle can't be stopped. It does take extraordinary means, but extraordinary means comes through a lot of hard work and just, things working out. But if you don't do the hard work, then there'll be nothing for something to have worked out. So you do kind of have it's like the nature of trying to get discovered in the world of acting. Like, sure, there's a small chance that if you do something crazy outrageous, you'll get noticed overnight. But the majority of the people, if you are a hard worker, you still may never make it. If you are a hard worker that then gets a couple of small breaks, that's all that then you will immediately flourish, because that will lead into another thing, and that's where your ethic comes through and all that stuff. So is there a chance element in this? 1,000%, as is there with anything in life. But I just can't accept the fact that we don't have the power at our hands.
I don't think it's about having power or not having power. What it is that things tend to actually go by the way of the way the people want them to go, pretty much almost every time over the course of time. I'm not talking immediately. I'm talking over the course of time.
Sometimes it's just due to not knowing any difference and not being informed enough to try to make a difference.
All right, that's I think that's a good time to cut it. That's just Kevin. That's zoned out what we talked about. Let's move on into the next thing,
which is, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of stale things, including the past conversation, we have a very serious question for you. The market of battle royales, are they still exciting to us anymore? Are they getting stale? I mean, PUBG is trying to do things. You have things like Warzone. I mean, all of these different genres are now making kind of their own versions of battle royales. Similarly, are they getting stale?
I'll kick this one off, because what this started with was Shroud, actually. Famous video game player Shroud, who plays a multitude of first-person shooter games. Basically was just saying battle royale games are just getting old and tired. I'm tired of playing them. And coming from a guy who pretty much made his living off of this, kind of holds some meat and potatoes there. You know what I mean? So I'll start off by saying they're dying. I don't think they're dead, but they're definitely dying, and we're gonna go see a new. I'm waiting for a new kid in town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know, man. I feel like the battle royale thing it just got old really fast, because it just felt like a bunch of companies just started as cash grabs. So I mean, I personally would love to see the genre keep flourishing and keep changing and evolving, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It's not a lot of them are that successful. Even the ones that do try to be different or unique.
Dice says, so tired of battle royales.
Look at that. Just look at that. A general reaction. A lot of people feel like that.
Yeah. No, I think, but I think there's a recurring truth here. I mean, it's kind of like it's funny because it's actually kind of I'm not gonna go into it, but this touches on the thing we were talking about before of just like consumer cycles, and I would say that battle royales are going through what zombies did back in early 2010s. There was like a huge like explosion of them. I mean, Call of Duty was putting into their games, like everybody was making zombie games, is when the first Left 4 Dead's came out. And then all of a sudden everybody was like, please, dear God, no more freaking zombie games. Like, I'm tired of it. But there was always that, you know, like there was still titles that came out and there was always that little market of it. And it's, what I think may be happening is that battle royales may have gone through their initial like glimmer phase and are now getting put into the okay, they're another gaming category kind of thing. And so it's no longer going to be about can you make a battle royale. It's going to be about what can your battle royale stand as being different from all the other ones.
But like, I'm wondering then what is really gonna take like the BR's place as like kind of like the go-to game. I mean, they're for as long as I've been watching games, there's always been kind of like a king of the castle.
VR is probably gonna make another a little bit of another resurgence.
I'm
gonna
throw
especially
a
because of the
coin in the
metaverse.
hat. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a coin in the hat, to be honest with you, and actually say that platformers are making a big comeback.
Cheeseburger Eddie says, "I want the good old days of 2v2s."
Yes, back to gang.
Like, I, you know, I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of feel Cheeseburger Eddie on that. I would love a 2v2. Like,
I think a lot.
A 2v2 what though?
Well, so here, okay, but actually just cooperative play, like genuine working cooperative play on a game that's unique. So what I mean by that is like It Takes Two.
I would love to play a co-op fighting game, like a truly co-op fighting game, like not a I tag in, you tag out type of like, no, like we both out there like fighting two other people, but it's a fighting game. I want to see something like that. I think that would be ill, but that's me. Like I have a weird taste like that.
Kai, finish your thought though. I'm curious as to what makes you say that platformers are going to be the next thing.
Well, I mean, with It Takes Two actually winning Game of the Year and the emergence of like the Super Mario like world doing really well, Ratchet and Clank, there's games that have been coming out for a while that have been killing it in the platformer scene as of recently. Obviously, you had like Spyro, Crash have comebacks. Sonic,
like Streets of Rage-esque? Is that what?
Yeah, like that type of.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay, yeah.
I mean, not like that type, like where it says.
Oh, sorry.
But like, yeah, that inspired.
Well, she's talking about beat 'em ups. I think beat 'em ups are, unfortunately, they're going to be resigned back to the grave in which they came, unless they do some major overhauls to the beat 'em up franchise.
I'm thinking more like 2v2 Tekken, to be real. But
yeah, but
I gotta be honest with you, I would also kind of like to see what you're talking about, Malik. I think that there's, what was that game that like you were gunners and like you were mercenary gunners and like it was the two of them. Army of Two, yeah. Like
Army of Two, yeah.
Or I mean, even Gears of War did it to an extent. Like just any sort of one of those things where it's just like
Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Now personally, I would actually what you specifically mentioned about the cooperative fighting, that I would really like to see. I don't know how that would work or what that would look like, but almost if you did like a multiplayer Sifu kind of thing.
For Honor, that's literally multiplayer Sifu.
I don't think I ever played Contra.
I have never played Contra, my bad.
Contra is hard as shit.
Is it?
Yeah, you gotta get like one hit before you die. Sometimes like two. Same thing. Contra and Shinobi were like basically like the Dark Souls of their time. They were hard as shit.
I've seen gameplay of this game. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. As far as I just see platformers like really like making this comeback just based on the things that I've seen, and their popularity is booming again. I think this new Sonic game is really about to be some shit, like some good shit.
I mean, yeah, look at Kirby. Kirby's basically getting
Kirby's a great example.
I mean, sandbox, I guess. Probably more sandbox. Like
But it's still gonna have those platform elements. It's a Kirby game. They have to have it. Same thing with Mario. Mario Odyssey did fantastic. Like they're not losing. Yeah. And it's not just Nintendo either. Like PlayStation's got in on it. Fucking Xbox got in on it. Everybody's in on it, man.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's platformers, I think, in today's day and age, though, do need to kind of be... There needs to be that special factor, though. I'm not saying that you can't have a good game without it, but I'm saying, like, if all of those games, like, had something that was, like, really unique about them at the time, and I think that's going to be an important feature for always going forward for platformers, that they can still be great games, but, like, if you want yours to, like, really break the mold, there has to be, like, some really unique way that you approach your entire work.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I feel like, for me, platformers haven't been as captivating since, like, the PlayStation 2 era, where you had platformers like Sly Cooper, like Jack and Dexter, like Ratchet and Clank, like we still have today. Like, when I say, like, for me, like, when it comes to, like, my top 3 like, legacy games, I will always and forever put those games up there for me. Like, those 3 platformers were, like, amazing. They all had something, like, really unique about them.
She says, well, let's think about it. This pandemic has caused gamers to come out of hiding. Has it? I feel like it's gone... Okay.
No, it really has. If you think about it.
In the gaming
okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Like, now everyone has time to play because you can't go anywhere anymore. Or, you couldn't... Yeah, for sure. And I think that's exactly it, is that I think, I would say that you're right, that we are in this thing where we're all, you know, gamers especially are joining together and meeting up and forming communities and all these really cool things. And there's, I mean, games like Among Us and all these sort of party games have addressed it, but there's something really to be said about making these kind of unique, memorable experiences that you can just, like, play with your friends. Yeah. Something that kind of harkens back to the days of couch gaming.
Yeah, and that, I feel like that's a feeling people are chasing these days. Something that feels like you're sitting next to someone again, you know? I mean, I'm personally, I think that's partially why I would love a co-op fighting game. Like, I miss the days where I'm sitting in the room and my brother's just out here, like, attacking, like, just beating me down in Street Fighter. Like, no, I don't miss getting beat in Street Fighter, but I miss my brother sitting there. Like, yes, I can, but I miss hearing the shit talk, you know?
Yeah, imagine if we used VR.
Wait, just to address Cheeseburger Eddie. Yo, yes, I'm right there with you, G. I would have loved to play football, yeah.
You know, totally single player, but
But I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro. You want to continue?
Not to burst that bubble, yeah. It was totally single player.
Can you let me dream? Thank you. Just leave that alone.
I think I get some mods in there. No, but what was I gonna say? Shit, I forgot.
About so I think I mean, people. I got it. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I was gonna say, like, imagine taking, like, VR to fucking, like, create a couch experience with your friend when you could have just simply gone over to his couch or her couch, their couch.
But here's something that's important to bear in mind, though, is that there is this opportunity now, because you know, your best friend may no longer be your next door neighbor who you go over to play Smash with. Your best friend may be in the middle of Yugoslavia now, or like in Australia. Like, you may be gaming with people literally across the world, then you still want to be able to have that sit-down couch experience. That's obviously not a sit-down couch experience, but kind of brings that nostalgic feeling of like, yeah, like, buddies, let's go do this. Like, let's go have some fun and just, like, go kill some things or whatever.
Yeah, see, like Dice says, my best friend lives across the country, man. Like,
I'm not. It's not me. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it per se. One, it kind of speaks to our social abilities as we've kind of grown up in the electronic / pandemic era. But like, it's just more so. It's still wild to me to think that that's gonna be a thing, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, there's 7 billion people on this planet, and I don't know. Like, I feel like we're buying hardware to connect with people. I get that, but there's a person right next to you. There's a person around you. There's people all over the fucking place. None of these people do what we do.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
I have to agree with you on that.
I do, but I also something that's really exciting me about the world of gaming now, and VR in particular, is that the three of us are all very fortunate in the fact that travel is easy. But think about all of the disabled gamers that out there that can't make a trip like that, or don't have the funds to make a trip like that, and this is their only way of doing it with friends.
I just want to be able to say, like, gaming, I think, like that nostalgia of wanting to sit next to somebody and play games, I think is more important than ever today. You know, like, sure, I could get up and go visit somebody like that lives in my neighborhood or whatever, and like sit down next to them and play a game with them, yada yada yada. But like, what if I'm the type of person that don't have those types of friends, right? Like let me actually use my own self as an example for this, right? I've had the same friend group for an actual decade. I've had the same friend group for an actual decade. I barely hang out with these dudes anymore. We talk and we get along and we have like a family relationship now. Like, we can't sit down and play games like we used to. And a lot of my friends that I make now are all across the world. Like, think about you, Julie. You now live all the way over there in county, and Will, you know, you live out there in Philly. But, like,
oh wait, Malik, don't you live up there in Philly?
Yeah, see? But yeah, then we got like let's take Clowns, who I play games with at night, who literally lives on the other side of the world. I would love to have an experience where it feels like I'm actually sitting next to Clowns, like playing a game with them, like talking to him, bullshitting with him, like I would, like I would if me and you, Julian, were sitting down playing Tekken together in my living room. Like,
but I'll say this in kind of contrast to that is we all do live in relatively like close proximity to each other, and we don't see each other that often. And I mean,
real life happens.
That's the other thing to remember, is that, like, forgetting for a fact that, like, we're living in the middle of a pandemic, and I myself can personally attest to just, like, having some anxiety issues about just, like, going out in general. Like, I'll be completely open about it. It's definitely a thing for me. Does it completely hold me back? No, but is it something I'm always thinking about? Yes. But even forgetting about that part of it, there is still just, like, yeah, like, you work, like, so much right now and are exhausted. Like, yeah, would you be willing to host us when we came over? Or, like, you know, would you be willing to come over there? Yeah, but I would almost certainly argue that you'd much rather do it on a day when you had a couple of days off, or you didn't have to do anything and you could just do that. But then, does that happen to coincide with when I have, like, some time, or you know, like, whoever it is? And obviously among us the situation is a little bit different because we could definitely coordinate it. But I guess my point is that it's harder than it seems, and through no fault of people's own. I mean, part of this is also a sort of a self-creating problem. I mean, we live in this ever-connected world that divides our time up, and so thus, as a result, it's harder to find to like mentally give yourself the time to go over to someone's place to do it in the same way that you did back when you were growing up.
Yeah, I mean, while I agree, it's not me whether or not I'm against the notion of having this technology and people using this technology for whatever particular reason. But what I'm saying is that like sometimes you can be looking to recreate something artificially that you can find organically. Is my whole point.
Absolutely.
So, and that should be like a call out to us. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. I mean, pandemic, I get it. You know what I mean? But like when the opportunity raises up, we should be being more active in each other's lives. Why the fuck not? There's certain things you really can't even tell until you actually see a person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on the other side of that screen when you're not looking at them? Are they hurting? Are they?
Well, that's actually exactly the reason why. Because the fact that you can't see anywhere beneath here is something that I constantly rely on.
Constantly rely.
Like, it's the truth of life, man. Like fucking, like we are so disconnected as people, and so.
No, you're right. There is a long understood irony of this ever increasingly connected world is that even though we're connected in more ways than we've ever been before, we are the most disconnected we have ever been from each other as a people.
Yeah. With all these lines of connection, it's like we're segregated.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And that's it. I'm not. I mean, tirade over. Like, get outside more, people. Go
touch some grass.
Go out. Go out and smell the COVID. Wait, sorry, no. Go out and.
You know, I'm not going fraud. I miss going to Love Park and like.
Dude, but see, like that's what I'm saying. Like, for me specifically, like that's why I was like, I will be honest, like. I don't feel the same sort of abilities that I did before everything went down to just go out and chill in Love Park. Like, yes, could I do it? Obviously, but I don't live as close as I used to. But like, the desire to be in that sort of like a public area with like a lot of people is something that I'm way more wary of now than I ever been.
And it's
so
crazy.
my roommate, actually, my old roommate, did some things that I was like kind of taking note of that she was doing. Like, she was going out to the mountains where there was barely anybody, and she was going out to parks and doing nature walks, doing all this other kind of crazy stuff. I understand that's not everybody's particular cup of tea or their particular bag, but what it showed me is that if you took a little bit of time and effort to actually figure out some shit that you could do safely, maybe amongst one or two other people, it's easier than you think it is to do. Yes, coordinating times, that will always be a thing. But think about it this way: we coordinate at least 3 times a week that we have to talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, we could.
Well, this ain't about us. Stop trying to make
So let me recognize what you're getting at and see if because we are getting close to wrap up time I don't know what we're looking to do. Yeah. But if I may, you are not wrong. There's not only something to be said about the need to just get out and just breathe some fresh air. But there is also something very important to be said that's long understood about just the need to be in a physical connection with other human beings. Like, there is, some people call it the energy of it, some people call it the hormones, like whatever your wording for it is. There is a recognized
hormones.
Well, like the energy that you feel from other people, just like from opposed to just like being contained in your own space and hanging out with people
But I go
online.
outside and I say, hey, I gotta go get the hormones.
Anyway, so as I was trying to get at, which is that yes, regardless of what it is, there is something that you cannot make up for when it comes to having a Discord call with somebody. But in the same right that you can't fault like the average, like that you're saying you can't fault the average consumer, you can't fault the average person for not wanting, for like just dealing with whatever they're dealing right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Two things.
It is the energy, man. It is the energy.
One, I'm still stuck on hormones. I gotta go out and get the hormones. But two,
I have nothing to explain there. The fact that you guys have never heard of this concept is a bigger issue to me than me having said it.
I wasn't asking you to explain. I love it the way it is. Listen, no, but like This is
It's
probably
literally basic human physiology, but okay.
I collect all my friends' hormones.
I don't even want to know.
You
what
do,
that
though.
means. I don't want to know what that even means. But anyway,
yes.
I'm gonna say this right. Even me, a person.
For the record, anybody watching, regardless of how much shit they're trying to throw on me right now, or like whatever they're trying to like wring my neck about, this is a legitimate thing. So don't think the fact that they're laughing makes it any less of an actual truth. I'm apparently need to have a post-show conversation with them and instruct them on basic human interactions and what happens when people in the same room connect with one another. But that's for a different conversation.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Dice. Thank you.
Dice is trying to like segue into something else. It's not. Like, Dice, have you ever said the words, I need to get some hormones from my friends? Willie, have you?
So many questions.
Hold on 1 second. Now, wait. So, at first I was playing along because I thought I may have just said something funny, but now it feels like you guys genuinely think I said some dumb as fuck thing. So,
no,
hold on.
You said something actual. Like,
no, I did not. I did not say. I said. What I specifically said was, there is something that you cannot get from a Discord call, whether or not it is, whether you call it the hormones that people that people have on their body, like how mating works. It's a basic human function, guys.
I know, but it's still funny.
But okay, that's fine. But to call it in question as like a thing that happens with human interaction is not like that's a thing that people do.
I'm calling, and that's not what you said.
That is exactly what I said.
No, that
you
was
did not. No. Because I know exactly what I said because I'm very specific about this language because I know if I'm not, this is exactly what would happen, which is that somebody would mishear something and then completely flip it on its head, thus completely eliminating the ultimate point which I'm trying to get at and the conversation that we were initially having, which is the human interaction part of it, not some, like, I don't know why this is getting so...
I need the hormone.
Because I'm gonna clip what you said, because you said it.
Please do it. No, clip it, because I do want to see if I'm wrong on this, because I don't think
I love these moments in our show, I really do.
Guys, can somebody do me a favor? Can we start a biddy raid of single-digit bits?
We should leave this for the driver after our show. We will, Clouds, if you have to the party.
My man said, quote, as they say, get the hormones is what you said. That's what I reacted to, and I started laughing. It wasn't the fact that I know that hormones exist, things like that. It's that phrase, as you said, as people just casually use this phrase. That's why I started laughing. I've never heard someone use that before.
Did I specifically say, as they say, you get like, can you send me this clip? Because now I need to see.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Dice, that's the other thing to remember is that they're being dicks and hanging on to one very specific thing I said because they're deciding to be dicks about something, and but whatever.
He's just making me laugh. He's like...
I'm mad because we've been talking about this for the past 4 minutes, and I've been trying to have a legitimate conversation about this, and you guys are fucking ragging on me about one slight thing I missaid. Like, that's what I'm getting frustrated about.
Because you keep defending it.
Yeah, that's why I'm still laughing.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
If you stop, I won't have no more fuel. Don't stop. No.
Fair enough.
No, why you tell him?
Anyways, alright, so, do we want to talk about the Mio universe?
Nah, we got it, man. 2 hour rap.
Yeah.
Alright.
Tensions are high. The hormones are...
Alright, well, I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you feel bad.
Nah, yeah.
It was just funny.
Alright, well, so... ending the show. Guys, thank you all so much for being here as we wrap up the show. Do we have any raid requests?
Who we got?
You got Blair, you got Vaughn, you got more of the Coven, you got Etro. That's on my side. I don't know y'all got y'all side.
Oh, like, you want to raid into Etro?
Yeah, we can raid in the outro. If you don't speak too often.
Or we can raid into Blair again.
So
He has a lower view count.
Sure.
Raid into Blair.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, guys! So, thank you all so much for being here. Let's get some quick, outros going. Starting off with Kai.
What's going on? It's your boy, the highest, the flyest, the guys of all time. And yeah, just spreading that tri-fam love wherever I go. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Peace.
Alright, and then we have the one, the only Mr. Kill 'em Slowly.
Yo, it's your boy Kill 'em Slowly. Thanks for joining us tonight. That's it for me. Peace.
Alright, and finally, guys, my name is Silly Willy TV. And once again, I could not have been happier to have all of you here. Dice, Clowns, Machina, Tez, thank you all so much for coming by and giving us a great show and having a lot of fun with us in chat. For those of you who aren't aware, because this kind of got tied down with the frustration of conversation that we had going on towards the end, Kai, would you like to do a last-second promotion of the kickback that you have going on tomorrow?
No, because I can't. Because
Emotional damage.
I forgot you weren't here for that part of the conversation. Yeah. But we'll talk about it.
Okay, so guys, I am going to put the link, the raid link in the chat. Also, feel free if you'd like to join the Discord. I think that's for the thing. All right, and that is the raid message right there. You can copy paste it. If you are a sub, all of those things will come through. The icon is just not a sub yet. If you're pushing out, please announce it this time.
Yeah.
Do you have an announcement? Did you make it now, or
the announcement it'll be postponed to next week or the week after.
Okay, all right. So stay tuned for that. We will make an immediate adjustment for that in all flyers and stuff. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. We look out for those upcoming takeovers. And, of course, our show next week. We hope that you can join us for any of those future ones. Until then, have a fantastic great evening, afternoon, wherever you may be around the world. Don't forget to spam that Tri-Fam Love button and show Blair some love. And have a fantastic rest of your day.
Peace.
Peace.
Good job, boys. Show some love. How we